Hello, everybody. How y'all doing on this Wednesday? It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE80, aka 13 Wonder of the World, aka Mike DZ. Thank y'all for joining me on The Point of View. I'm your host, and man, what a day it is. First of all, I want to say God bless you, God keep you. Thank you all for listening, to The Point of View. Shout out to the Point Place players. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Shout out to Embreeze. And Naya. I love all y'all. My sister, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for listening to The Point of View, which is also on Podbean as well as the YouTube channel. Man, this weather is stuffy, man. 1 minute you're cold, the next minute you're hot. 1 minute you're stopped up. 1 minute your eyes water. It's just tough, man, with this weather, man. As we're in the month of January the 15th, 2025. And it's 6:10 here in the South, man. And I'm just glad to be on here to talk a little sports with you guys. I know tonight's going to be filled with a lot of college basketball as well as NBA games. I'm still not happy about how the Lakers played the other night. I know it was their first game back after the fires. Shout out to everybody out there. We pray that God will give you guys grace to stop these wildfires that you guys have in LA going on right now. As well as the other cities being snowed in. We just pray that God will give you, grace that you can maintain through the weather, the wild and crazy weather. Not only that, but I also want to talk about the Lakers did lose bad to Wemby and the Warriors. I mean, the Spurs, I say the Warriors. The Warriors, I don't think they play tonight. I think they do play tonight, but we'll see what happens with that as well. I made a couple of errors on the show last week. We're going to see the Lions take on the Commanders, and the Eagles go up against the Rams. Interesting games. And of course, we got Buffalo versus Baltimore. I'll give you guys my picks on Friday's podcast about that, as well as the Chiefs and the Texans in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see, can Notre Dame stop Ohio State? It's going to be tough to beat them, man. Ohio State's something serious. But yeah, man, it's been same old in sports, of course. Mike McCartney out as the Cowboys coach. There's a possibility he could be going to the Bears as their new coach, or he could be going to the Jets, from what I've heard. Saints are looking for a new coach. There's plenty of teams in the NFL are looking for coaches. The Raiders are looking for a coach. There was a talk about Deion could possibly be their coach. I don't think you leave Colorado just yet, man. I think you stay with Colorado. Of course, the Cowboys wanted him, but I think he turned down the Cowboys to probably stay in Colorado. We'll see as the moving pieces of that goes along as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to switch gears and talk about wrestling. There is a lot of things that's happened in these last 2 days of professional wrestling. I know that AEW comes on in about 45 minutes, a little under 45 minutes. I don't know the card for them tonight. I think tonight is going to be Jon Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the title. I think that's one of the matches that I know for sure that's going to take place tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about WWE for a minute. There were people that were upset about two things that happened on Raw Monday. The first thing they were upset was about the timing of the Damian Priest versus Finn Balor street fight. That match went off 15 minutes before going off the air. Now, I remember Triple H saying that if a match lasted that long and it cuts off at that, then that's what's going to happen on Netflix. But on Friday, you're going to use the whole 3 hours of SmackDown. Why don't you just go ahead on and make it 3 hours all the way on Netflix? It's crazy. The format went back to the same. Sheamus beats Ludwig Kaiser. They're teasing a Braun Breaker versus Sheamus match at Saturday night's main events. This could be Sheamus's moment. Sheamus could win this match at Saturday night's main event. We'll see that. Also, they've made the match between Jey Uso versus Gunther. Gunther's going to beat Jey Uso for a third time. It's going to happen because they don't see Jey Uso yet as a world champion. So Gunther's going to win that. But Braun Breaker could lose the Intercontinental title to Sheamus. It would be a great story for Sheamus to win the title and then lose the title a month after. Because that's the only thing that he has not won in his career, and that's the Intercontinental title. And Sheamus has had a great career, folks. A legendary career. You're talking about a WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, a tag team champion, a United States champion, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank winner, Royal Rumble winner. Sheamus has did it all in the business, except win the Intercontinental title. If he was to go to NXT, there's no doubt about it, I think he would become the NXT champion. But this is here or there. But the other complaint was, and I have no disrespect, showed it all to Lyra Valkyrie for becoming the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. But it seemed like Dakota Kai should have been the winner of that match. And they went the opposite way, which I said that it wouldn't have mattered if Lyra would have won, because Lyra would have fit the bill as the champion. But it didn't go that way. They put the belt on Lyra instead of Dakota. Now, what's the story going to come out with that? Also, switching gears to NXT, congratulations to the Meta Girls, Jackson and Legend. They are going to become the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. There's no doubt about it in my mind. They're going to beat Naomi and they're going to beat Bianca, because the asylum of Jade Cargill is going to be revealed soon. And a lot of people think it's Naomi, but it could be Bianca. That would be a great turn if it's Bianca. If it's Bianca, then you're going to have a heel turn of Bianca Belair. That would be best for business right now, if they were to do that. So I'm just letting you all know that the Meta Girls are going to become the Women's Tag Team Champions. I still think that they can bring back the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. That's what I think they should do. I still think they can bring back the European Championship for the guys. I'm just saying, this is me just talking. I know you guys got the Speed Championship, both women and men, a great thing for them, but I still believe in my heart that they should be able to bring back the championships. That's exactly what I think. Those are titles that I wouldn't mind bringing back. You don't have to bring the hardcore title back. That was a piece of history, a great piece of history, but now you need to bring back that. The WWE Vault has been phenomenal, guys. Whoever came up with that on YouTube is absolutely showing some hidden gem matches that you can watch on YouTube instead of just going to Peacock and looking. You can find those matches on WWE Vault. That Lost ECW show where it was Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam for the WWE title and CM Punk, that was phenomenal. It was great to watch. Um, let's talk about Oba Finley. Oba Finley and Eddie Thorpe are going to fight again for the title. I think Oba Finley beats Eddie Thorpe, and I think Trick Williams comes back, gets one more crack at him, loses, and joins the WWE main roster. Because I think that's where he needs to be. He needs to be on the main roster. I think Roxanne versus Bayley should take place at NXT. And if Bayley beats Roxanne Perez, which is going to be a great match, then I think you send her to the main roster. Masha Slamovich, the TNA Women's Champion, was also in attendance. She's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I think her and Jordynne Grace both are going to be in the Royal Rumble because I think Jordynne Grace finishes up with TNA on Friday. And I think that's when her contract runs out, and I think she comes to WWE. I don't think she's ready for the main roster. A lot of people say that she is. I think she could be dominant at NXT. There's no doubt about it. Her and Julia would have great matches as fighting for the NXT Women's Championship, as well as Stephanie, becoming the NXT Women's North American Champion. That would be great for business. I think you make this match coming down soon. Rich Holland versus Tony D for the men's North American title as well. I just don't see too much value in Rich, and I know a lot of people don't say this, but I just don't see a lot of value in Rich Holland. I understand why they put him back on NXT. I think they put him on NXT. I could be wrong, but I think they put him on there because they don't trust him on the main roster after what happened to Big E's neck. Interesting. OTM out of the mud had a great match with Fraxima, with Axima and Frazier. I think that Frazier and Axima will possibly go up against DIY. I think what you do is you could either put them in a tag team title match, put the NXT tag team titles on the line against the SmackDown tag team titles, which would make great for business because I think DIY and Fraxman will be great, having a great tag match as what I see as they're bringing them back. They're bringing a lot of main roster guys back to NXT, especially the ones that are a part of the WWE circle of being back in the NXT bubble. So that's interesting to see right there, ladies and gentlemen. NXT was a great show. We saw, Brian Pillman Jr., who I call him Brian Pillman Jr., aka Lexus King, versus Charlie Dempsey again in a rematch next week on NXT. Great things are happening in the professional world of WWE. Vince McMahon has gotten off with, I think he's settled for the harassment charge he's had against him, so he's free as a bird now from what I've heard. I don't think he's gonna reconnect with WWE like that. There were talks that he might be making a new wrestling company. I don't know, that could be. I was just hypothetically speaking the other day about Vince McMahon. Interesting to see if McMahon can make that happen. It'll be interesting to see what's his next move. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you see how a lot of people are talking about the Netflix Raw thing again, wondering why it didn't go 3 hours like they've been scheduled to do. I don't know. I wish that it would have. They could have, had a whole nother segment on there for those last 15 minutes or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Netflix next week. We know that it's going to be Seth versus Drew McIntyre next week on Raw. Interesting match. CM Punk's probably going to be there, but he's probably just going to be there watching, because they're not going to put CM Punk in a wrestling match on Raw, not just yet. The only way they do that is got to be something big, like the match he had against Seth Rollins on Netflix Raw. That's the only time CM Punk will probably wrestle on Raw, unless it's a big show that they want to get the viewers to tune in to watch. A lot of people have put their hats into the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins, John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, or a few guys that are going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't know who's going to win this Royal Rumble, folks. I think it could be John. I think John becomes a 3-time Royal Rumble winner. CM Punk has never won a Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins has won 1. Drew McIntyre has won 1. Jey Uso could be a shocker. LA Knight could be a shocker, because LA Knight needs a push. He needs a rekindle of his character. His character is going stale. And when you take the United States title from him, that's tough. That's tough for LA Knight to happen to him last week on SmackDown. And this week you're going to have Solo back on there. So I guarantee you Solo's probably going to be in the Royal Rumble. He's going to be announced to be in the Royal Rumble. And they're going to be looking at Solo kind of crazy, because he did lose the match against Roman Reigns. So we'll see what happens with that storyline as well. And the question I've been asked is, where do they go with Dakota Kai now? And my question is, I think you make her a heel again. I think you make her a heel, and I think that you put the scope back on her to make her feel more important now, that since she lost her opportunity at the title. That's what you do. That if I'm them, that's what I do. I do that right there. That's exactly how I feel about it. That's exactly what I think should happen. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen in the mix of what we see going on right now in WWE. Because, they've given the women what everybody's asked for, and that was a second mid-card title. And both shows have them. Raw has one, SmackDown has one, NXT has one, WWE Speed has one. So the women are getting their flowers. They have a women's tag team title championship, which they spread around each shows. They're going to have to come to a point, do they add any more titles? Which is, I think they could. I think they can add one more. I think they can add one more on the main roster, because I think that you do need to figure out a way. I would love to see them bring the 24/7 title back. I would love to see that. I would love to see the lower card wrestlers be in those type of matches. That was up R-Truth's alley when they when they decided to switch it from the men to the girls to the females. Then that's when the belt started becoming irrelevant. Oh man. So tonight is the Lakers against the Heat. That's the game, the second game of the night. LeBron versus Pat Riley. Let me say that like that. It's going to be interesting to see the Heat, which was one of my favorite teams, still is, and the Jimmy Butler debacle, going up against my current boy, LeBron James, who's always been my boy, who helped them win 2 championships in LA along with D-Wade and Chris Bosh and Ray Allen and all those boys. It's going to be interesting to see, can the Lakers bounce back tonight and win a game against the Miami Heat? I think they can. No Jimmy Butler. I think Tyler Hero's playing, and Bam, of course. So we'll see what happens with that as that comes forward, as the moving parts get ready for the trade deadlines in the not the NFL, but the NBA, the coaching carousel in the NFL, to see who's going to to see these teams and who's going to play for the title, for the Vince Lombardi title, which is the Super Bowl. As we also start gearing up to see teams play, to figure out, are they going to get a spot in the NCAA March Madness tournament? Wow, that's one of the greatest. That is the funnest thing that happens in sports when they do the NCAA tournament, because you never know what bottom team is going to win the whole thing. And that's just, how it is as well. And yeah, that's about all for right now. I know I've said a couple of things, but now I'm going to yield here and let you guys get yourselves ready to watch AEW Dynamite. Get some NBA in you, get some college basketball in you. Look at what's going on still in the NFL world. And yeah, you guys remember, keep me in prayer. I will pray for you. You pray for me. God bless you all. God keep you. Oh, and by the way, thank you for all of you that supports the Point Place music as well as all the Point Place entertainment. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. And this is just me talking as well as Bobby Reezy. But thank you all. Thank you for supporting the music of the Point Place. And I know that we're slow here with the media, but thank you all for those of you that do listen to the point of view. Just keep it in your spirits. Listen to me. Give me some feedback. Tell me what I need to talk about. Help me where I can become this social and media influencer by doing this for you guys. Talk about it for a little bit. Until then, God bless you. God keep you. I'm out.